How do you decide how you feel about something, about a particular topic or a person or school or work? You think about it. How do you decide how you're going to respond to a situation, or how you're going to talk to someone, or what you're going to say? You plan it out in your mind. You think about it. How do you imagine responding to people, especially in those situations where we feel like we were wronged or we were disempowered in some way? We sit there and we imagine in our minds the perfect scenario where we get to say all the things that we want to say in the way that we want to say them. We can spend hours worrying about something, building up anxiety within ourselves, building up fear, imagining worst case scenarios of the apocalypse coming and everyone dies except for us, and we're all alone and everything is awful. Things like that anxiety and that fear is going to change how we respond to situations that are related to that particular point that we're anxious about. So we're going to change how we make decisions when that point is in the picture. We're maybe not going to be so rational, because now instead of looking at things practically, we're looking at things in a frame of mind where we're like, OMG, what if all of these bad things happen? I better do something to make sure that these bad things don't happen. And OMG, 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 and then we explode. Metaphorically speaking, of course. What do you do when someone does something to make you feel bad about yourself, or to thwart your plans, or to make you feel inferior? Very likely you spend a whole chunk of time thinking about putting them in their place, thinking about all of the things that you'd like to say to them, thinking about how good it would feel to finally be able to say your piece. And I mean, I know I do this. I think about situations and I imagine situations where I feel empowered and powerful, and where I can take back and myself and put the person in their place. And yeah, although in reality a lot of the time we don't actually ever build up the courage to do that. And even if we did, everything would come out wrong, because in that imagining of how we're putting someone in their place or whatever, what's actually happening is that we're building up so much emotion around this point that it's not like rational anymore. We're now just kind of this fuming cauldron that's bubbling over, and most of the stuff that we're thinking and eventually that we might end up saying is not really to the point and as powerful as we imagined it to be, because we simply were not looking at the situation clearly, because we were sitting there feeling all this anger and rage and hurt and resentment, and that's what was driving it. So we spend all day, every day, thinking about things. Some of the thoughts are going to have a lot of emotional energy attached to them, like anger, hurt, jealousy, anxiety, caution, concern, all of these different things. And also a lot of these thoughts, within them, what we're doing is we're actually planning how we're going to respond to different situations. So what happens, for example, is when you spend a lot of time and energy building up thoughts that are of a jealous nature, what's going to happen is eventually those thoughts are going to start influencing, or rather it's the energy behind it, it starts influencing your behavior and how you see things and how you talk to people. and how you interact with people beyond just talking, your body language, how you're looking at people. What usually comes up with jealousy is a lot of spiteful, snide comments, aggression, manipulation. These different things start stemming from that which started off just as a simple thought that had a jealous energy to it, a jealous nature. But the more we feed that, the bigger it becomes, and the more it has the potential to start influencing our behavior, or rather, we create ourselves in that way. We create that behavior within ourselves because we're nurturing that particular nature within ourselves. It becomes us. Here's one that probably everyone's going to be able to relate to. When you have like a huge crush on someone, like super huge, like teenager years huge kind of crush, where your hormones are pumping through your body and you just can't help yourself. You're completely out of your own control. When you're around that person who you have this major crush on, and doesn't matter if they know it or not, how are you going to behave? You're going to be looking at them differently. Maybe you're going to be stuttering and you can't form your words properly, or you say stupid things, or when you're not with them, you talk about them all the time, or you write about them all the time. That's a very basic example of how obsessive thoughts, or obsessive type thoughts, can create obsessive type behaviors, but also behaviors like the stammering and stuttering and social anxiety around that person, because there's so many different ways that we can see ourselves in relation to that person. Very often what happens when we have a huge crush on someone is that we feel inferior to them. We feel not good enough. We feel shy. What if they don't like me? What if they treat me like an idiot? What if they think I'm stupid? All of these things that we give so much time and energy to in our minds, that we actually make ourselves completely retarded when we're with the person. And then, it's kind of like a self-fulfilling prophecy, and we prove to them in a way that we are all these things that we feared they would think we are. So if you need more examples, or if you feel like this video wasn't clear enough as an description of how we become our thoughts in the physical reality, in the words that we speak, and in our behavior, let me know. I will do more videos for you. Otherwise, if you have anything to add to the discussion, or if you have any questions for me, if you have any ideas for other topics, send a direct message or leave a comment. If you want to support me, you can do that on Patreon or on Steemit, which is like a social network with its own cryptocurrency. Thank you for watching, and you will see me next time.